You all. Welcome to the classes on Hebrew, day 9. Let us
Good
begin
morning,
with the
Father.
scripture reading. Good morning to you.
Morning, Father. Happy
Good
feast
morning,
day.
Kumar. Thank you, Kumar. How are you?
Fine, fine, doing fine, Father.
Good. Let's begin with the Genesis. Okay, please take Genesis 1 onwards. I read for you and we'll explain the text as well. Genesis 1:1. Bereshit bara Elohim et hashamayim vayet haaretz haaretz hayata tohu va vohu vahoshek al pene tehom varuach Elohim merachafet al pene hamayim vayomer Elohim yehi or vayehi or Vayer Elohim Yet Havor Kito Vayabdel Elohim Ben Havor Uven HaHoshek Vayikra Elohim Lavor Yom Valahoshek Kara Laila Vayehi Erev Vayehi Oker Yom Yehad. Good morning once again. So welcome to the classes on day 9. We have just begun with the scripture reading from Genesis 1 to 5. Just I'll quickly run through the verses so that we understand the meaning. And then this evening, I will send you the quiz that you have to write. It's a very simple quiz that some text is taken from here as well. So that's why I'm looking at it. After explaining this, I will just give some time for your clarification that we have had a break on Saturday. So if you have collected any queries on our learning so far, you may ask. Good. Very quickly, we run through verses 1 to 5, and we'll try to understand the meaning. Okay. Just I share my screen with you. Very good. So this is the text which we have that is on the last page of our lesson. So the first word is Bereshit. So Ber here is preposition. Rosh. Rosh is a head, and when it forms, it becomes a Reshit. So it's a feminine. So it's similar to, we have the book of Kohelet, that is Ecclesiastes. So Kahal means to gather together. And from there, it becomes a Kahal, becomes an assembly. And the person who does it, or the person who is related to that, become Kahalat. So these nouns are formed by the combination of Yeth and the three consonants. So here we have the three consonants, Resh, Aleph, and Shin. So these three consonants actually mean the head or beginning. So we have in the beginning, but the is not there. But since it is the construct, we add the. Then bara, he created. Who created? Third one, Elohim. So in the beginning, God created. The next one is Yeth. In Hebrew, we said there are some object markers like Yeth with the segol and Yeth with with three dots. That is a short vowel. With the segol and sere. So these two will make the object markers they call. So as soon as it appears, we can see that what follows is the object. So Bereshit bara
Excuse me,
Elohim.
Father. That
Yes.
short vowel yet will be coming with the makef, right?
Yeah, it will come with the makef. Very good, sir. Thank you. Good. So you can understand this, that short vowel, that one more means since it is short, it needs a help. So that's help is a markef. Okay, that object marker is what we are going to see today. That's the pending from last lesson. Good, very good. Thank you. Yet hashamayim, va yet haaret. So here first object is hashamayim, then va yet, and another object comes haaret. So as many number of objects are there, as many number of object markers also will be there. So for example, suppose it continues haaretz, then ha war. So whatever we add for all the nouns that are added, for all the object nouns that are added, this earth will be placed there. That is the number one. So once again, Bereshit, in the beginning, bara, he created, Elohim, God, yet object marker, hashamayim, the heavens, vayat, and again object marker, haaretz, and the earth. In the second words, we have va haaretz. So it starts with what is left in the first words. Va haaretz, and the earth. Aretz is earth. Haaretz is the earth. Va haaretz is and the earth. Hayata. Haya means to be. Hayata is the past tense of the infinitive haya. Hayata means it was. The earth was tohu wa wohu. So formless and void. So this is how we translate, but still this particular expression evades our translation, because it's a little tricky. Even Saint Augustine finds it difficult in his Confessions. Then per hoshek, and darkness. Al pene, on the face of. Pene is face. So the same expression we have in Genesis when Jacob fights with the unknown man, that Peniel, that I saw the face of God, he says. So pene means face. Tehom, al pene tehom. So in the face of the deep. Tehom is the deep place. Va ruach, and the spirit. Ruach is a gliding vowel it has, because this vowel is pronounced first, then we pronounce the consonant. So it is not ruha, but ruach. Elohim, the spirit of God. Ma rahafet. So rahaf is to sway over. Ma rahafet is a participle swaying over. Al pene hamayim. Again, on the face of the waters. Mayim is waters here. Then third one, we'll see until 5. Number 3, very simple. Bayomer Elohim. Here we have Amar. Amar means to say or to speak. Bayomer means and he spoke. Who spoke? Elohim. And God spoke. Yehi. Again from Chaya. Chaya is imperative form is Yehi. Let it be, or let light be. So or is light. Or let light be. Vayehi or. And there was light. So here it is imperative. And when it's added with va, it becomes past tense. So here it is imperative. Let there be light, and there was light. So when va is added, it becomes past. So that we will see how the verb functions in lesson 9. We will see Vayehi or. So once again, 3. Vayomer Elohim. Yehi or. Vayehi or. Then number 4. Bayer Elohim. So here Ra'a. Ra'a means to see. Bayer means and he saw. So you can write and he saw. Who saw? Elohim. And God saw. What did he see? Yet, object marker. So here we have what Mr. Terence said. So yet is a markef. So with the sere, it is without markef. With the segol, that is 3 dots, it is with markef. God saw the light. Ki to. key is as. God saw the light as good, or God saw the light to be good. We can translate both ways. Tov is good. By Yafdale, here Badal means to divide. By Yafdale means and he divided. Divided what? Elohim. God divided or separated. Bain. Bain is between. So separated between Haor and between Ha Hoshek. So between the light and between the darkness. So in English, we say, suppose only one between. For example, I went to the market. I chose between mangoes and apples. So mangoes and apples. So between mangoes and apples. So once we use between, another place we use and. But in English, in Hebrew, we have between the light and between the darkness. So it's more or less like in our own Dravidian languages, we have the same construct where twice it is used. Okay. Bain Haor, Ubain Ha Hoshek. Very good. So here Haor is that the light, Ha Hoshek is the darkness. Then number 5, the last one. Vaikra. Kara. Kara means to call or to hear, and he called. So bara means to create, kara means to call. So to call can mean like just calling, inviting, or also to name. To name somebody also is a to call. Vayikra Elohim La Vor. So to name somebody, we take the preposition. So we just don't say Vayikra Elohim Or, but God named two light actually. So La is added here. La is two, which we have learned from Lamdin 1. La is two. Vayikra Elohim Laor. God called the light Yom. Yom is day. Va la Hoshek. And to the darkness, he called Layla. Layla is darkness. Darkness, but Dr. Hoshek is actually darkness. But Layla from darkness or of darkness, so which is night, Layla. Vayehi Yerev, and it was again from Yehi. Yehi from Chaya. Vayehi Yerev, Vayehi Vokev, Yom Yechad. So it was evening and it was morning. Yom Yechad, the first day. So Yechad is the cardinal number. So the numbering. So 1, 2, instead of 1, 2, 3, ordinal numbers. Instead of 1, 2, 3, we have first, second. So Yechad is the first day. Once again, the last words. Vayikra Elohim. God called to the light day, and he to the darkness he called night. Vayehi Yerev. It was evening, it was morning, the first day. Good. So I revised this because this is also part of the quiz that I am going to send you after the class. Okay, just to know the meaning of the text. Just I pause here, just only now. If you have any doubt with this text, please let me know. Any expression, any
Father, Hashamayim, Shama is sky, isn't it, Father?
Yeah, Hashamayim, yes, sir.
Shamayim is sky, skies are heaven.
Yes. Hashamayim is the art with article, definite article. The heavens.
Okay.
Shamayim is the heavens actually.
Okay, Father.
Good. So Shamayim. So here actually im is there. It's actually in some say it is a dual noun because two layers are there in heaven, and some say it is plural, heavens. So heaven, it's heavens.
Oh, Father, this
Yes,
bara, no?
Yeah.
You said that bara, the Ra is created and Ba is he created. Bara is he created.
No, Para is he created.
And you said Kara is he called.
He called. Yes, madam. Para means Wow, just I'll explain to you. Thank you. So it's called a perfect tense. Okay. So I'm sharing my next screen. So we have here bara, and we have kara. Since it is a Bhagat Kapat letters, we have. So this type is called para kara. So later we'll see in lesson 9, that is katau, katua, katauta. So that is he created. So this is the form actually, he called. So the third person masculine singular. Third person masculine singular of, so we put here, third person masculine singular perfect tense. So this is a perfect tense. So we have only two tenses there, perfect tense and imperfect tense. The other things, call, nifal, they are all different forms. We'll explain in lesson 9. And here it means he called. Again, third person masculine singular perfect tense. Okay, ma'am? So he called.
What is the word for only called?
Call, just this is the without, suppose you, if you remove this, that is the infinitive, to call. Suppose we have here. So you remove the vowel, then only the three consonant, this one, this three consonantal word is means to call, infinitive.
Father, is
And
it a root word then?
create, and to create,
Here,
instead of
you
he
remove this,
created.
you remove this, then it becomes a to create.
Okay.
Okay.
It
Father,
is
is
like
it
the root,
word then?
like he said, the root word and then this thing.
Yeah, yes, ma'am. This is the root, tri-consonantal root. So you remember, I put it here. So tri-consonantal root. Tri-consonantal root. That root is in infinitive form. But we have different infinitive for sentence. But for the time being, let's understand infinitive is like a, in English, suppose we have to be. So to be is the infinitive, but it forms like I am, you are, he, she is. So here, to be is the infinitive here, to be, but it takes different form in present indicative. I am, you are, he, she is. But when it comes to past, it will take another form like I was, you were, he, she was. So that is how it conjugates verbs. So, but in the infinitive form, the simple form is to be. Same way, in Hebrew, the simple form is the triconsonantal root, and it takes different form when it's conjugated either in perfect tense or imperfect tense.
Thank you.
Okay, ma'am. Okay. Yes, Kumar.
No, I was asking the same question, Father. Is it infinitive root consonant form without
Yeah,
any
it's
without
infinitive.
any vowels? It is just infinitive root form.
Yeah, any infinitive root form. Very good. Thank you.
From there it starts all the other inflection depends
Sure.
upon the context, whether it is
Sure.
past tense or present tense, and it adds to the word.
Yeah, it adds to the verb. Correct.
Thank you.
Thank you, Kumar. Very good. Any doubt with the text?
Father, what was the explanation you said? You told this, but I forgotten.
Which one?
Haaretz. Basically, eretz is the word. But you mentioned that haaretz because it's not A now, it is R. What is the reason for that?
Okay, here,
Yeah, yeah.
suppose
Actually,
we
it is
have,
okay.
okay,
Already
even before the first one, haaretz. Okay, so Eretz means earth. When you add the article, that is a definite article, ha, okay, so it has to be ha Eretz. Ha Eretz.
yes.
But we said in some, there are 8 words there. What is there in the article? Same thing is placed there. So ha Eretz. So it's a rule, and it's this way. And maybe because of the reason we can understand is like hey Eretz. If it were we can't pronounce, so they have put it ha Eretz. So only for pronunciation's sake, they have modified this in 8 words. So this type of
Some of these are some
occurrence.
exceptions.
Yes, these are exceptions.
There is no definite rule behind
There
that.
is
There
no
is a
definite rule for that.
because I was just
Yes,
confused. Is there any rule?
because it suffices that ha Eretz is fine, but they have this exception ha Eretz.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Kumar. Very good. Any lexical meaning not clear from 1 to 5? Any word? Okay, just let's take now verse 1 and how our translation fails to bring out the real meaning. So just we'll try to understand just verse 1. Look at the translation here in your textbook page number 36, New Revised Standard Version, NRSV. In the beginning, when God created the heavens and the earth. So if you compare these two, what is missing in Hebrew or what is added in NRSV?
I think the when is added.
Yeah, when is added. Okay, good.
When is
So
added.
when is added here. So which is not there in the original. So
Yes.
like it creates two problems. Like some translators, Bereshit bara Elohim. In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. But in some translations, we see in the beginning, when God created the heavens and the earth. This leads to the entire theology of ex nihilo, that is creation out of nothing. So suppose according to NRSV, in the beginning, when God created the heavens and the earth, what does it sound? It sounds like when God created, something was already there. But if you remove this when, in the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth, there is nothing is there. So that makes the difference. So when you add when, it betrays creation out of nothing. When you remove that when, creation out of nothing is possible. So many theologians from starting from Augustine, Anselmo, Irenaeus, all have problem with this particular when. But still we have in some translation this when. But the translation emerges on account of the Greek rendering. In the Septuagint Bible, when they translated from Hebrew to Greek, they rendered with when. So that's why we have these differences. But now, as far as like a Hebrew student, when you look at the original Bible, you need to see that bara is actually, it means he created. There is no when there. And that's what we have in the Hebrew text. So that's the advantage of learning Hebrew or studying a text in original.
That means there is when there is no when means we are not sure whether earlier there was pre-existed world is there or not. We don't know that.
Yeah, but when is there, the world is, well, it presupposes that something was there. Getting it? For example, suppose I say, in the morning, when I wrote the poem was empty. Suppose I, just for a example say, there already, when I wrote the poem, something was there as poem. But when I say in the morning, in the morning, I wrote the poem or wrote the prose, it doesn't mean that something else was there already. It was there only when I began to write it.
Okay. So actually, from according to the Hebrew context, Nothing was there. It is created.
Nothing was there. Nothing was there. Correct.
Father, one basic question:
Yes.
how could be there something void, dark, formless in God's eyes?
So,
It's a theological question because
yeah.
a lot of theologians say that there was a pre-existence world, God destroyed. See, this they also quote the word from Ezekiel where Lucifer was the author of, guardian angel for the Eden garden. There was one statement is there in Ezekiel where God says, "You were the ruler of the Eden garden. You have been anointed with." So he was responsible. All these things were written there. So based on that context, some theologians says God cannot have a void and dark places. God might have created pre-existence world. He might have destroyed. That is when Lucifer did the commitment. He destroyed and he pushed Lucifer into deep. That's what some theologians says.
Okay, but let's not take it enter into, but simply to answer it quickly. But if that is the case, then something was there already. So who created that? That question will come now. So that's why. So who created that? Or means if something was pre-existing even before God's creation, then something more powerful than God was there. So some that it will lead to another discussion on the problem of good and evil. So but I'll text you where to find the answer for this. So Augustine
Okay.
has beautiful section in his Confessions. Okay.
Okay.
Very good. So good. Having said this, so now all the texts are ready for your quiz. Okay, I'll send you the question after the classes at 10:30. Okay, now we quickly go to our lesson 4 and I stop there. If you have any doubt from lesson 1 to lesson 4, you may ask now. So you had a break and you might have revised. Hope that break was helpful to you. Good. So on lessons 1, 1 to 4, if you have any doubt, you may ask. So this is the last week lesson. Okay, maybe I'll quickly revise with you. Just look at the slide here, Aleph, Bet, and vowels. We'll just quickly run through the vowels. Aleph, sorry, consonants. Aleph, Bet, Gimel, Dalet, He, Vav, Zayin, Het, Tet, Yod, Kaf, Lamed, Mem, Nun, Samek, Ayin, Pe, Sade, Kof, Resh, Sin, Shin, and Tau. Then to the vowels A, E, I, O, U, A, E. So these three are shortened vowel forms. Then this one we have seen the attributive and predicative use of adjective. Ish, to, haish, hatova. So article, attributive is said. Then predicative use, article for noun, no article for adjective. So article, no article, it becomes predicative. Haish, to, the man is good. Tova, haisha, the woman is good. Then we saw in lesson 4, that is, we were about to begin active participle there by looking at the triconsonantal root. For example, here, Bet, Resh, Kaf. So this triconsonantal root has something to do with blessing. So blessed, blessing, he was blessed, he blessed. So all these takes this form. So here we have Baruch, Varek, Borak, Berek, Beraka. So, but looking at the root, we can see it has something to do with blessing. So as earlier, Mrs. Karen and Mr. Kumar asked, like, how do we see that something is he created or he called that? What is the infinitive form? So infinitive form is the triconsonantal root. Good. Then we say, I now stop for a minute. If you have any doubt, shall I go ahead? How do I take your silence?
Yes, Father. You can go
You
ahead.
can
Father.
go ahead, sir.
Very good. Okay, super. Okay, now let's explain to you. Let me explain. Okay, let me explain to you the participle, the active participle. So participle, by participle we mean verbal adjective. Suppose here, I am sitting. So here, I'm not referring to the action of sitting, but the way I am. So that's why we call this as sitting as verbal adjective. Suppose I am writing. So it's not action of writing, but what I am doing in the sense what I am now. What I am now. So here I am, like we have I am good. I am bad. Here, good is an adjective, bad is an adjective. In the same way, sitting is an adjective, writing is an adjective. And in the sense, verbal adjective. So it can be, suppose I say, he is good or good man. So here it is predicative. Here it is attributive. In the same way, I can say, the writing man. Here it is attributive. The man is writing. Here it is predicative. This is what we are going to see. So here, first let's understand. Man is noun. Writing is verbal adjective. And this writing can be attributive, predicative. In Hebrew, for attribution, we need that rule is article, article. So ha ish, ha kotev becomes attributive, the writing man. Suppose I want to say the man is writing, I say ha ish kotev, the man is writing. So I will explain how the participles are formed in Hebrew. The other day, we took one common example, that is Yashav. So let me clear the board. So we have the Yashav. So this is the triconsonantal root. Yasha means to stay or to live or to sit in a place. So the first one, masculine, it forms like a yo shave. So just I put a dot here, yo shave. Yo shave is masculine singular. He is living. Suppose I want to make it feminine singular. Again, I write here. So the consonantal roots remain the same. So I add Yosheveth. So Yoshev is masculine, singular. Yosheveth is feminine, singular. Then we have here Yoshvim, again triconsonantal root. Here Yoshvim. Im is a masculine plural ending. Yoshvim. Then last one, Yoshavoth. Again, triconsonantal. Yosha. Okay, first we'll finish. Yoshavoth. So oath is again feminine plural ending. So Yoshev, Yosheveth, Yoshevim, Yoshavoth. So this is how the adjectival, verbal adjective, the participles are formed. Okay, I show in my screen an example of how it is formed for another verb, katal. We saw this other day. Kotel, kotel, kotelet, kotelim, kotelot. So no ending, masculine singular. Yet, feminine singular. Im, masculine plural. Oath, feminine plural. This is another form, kotala. It's a very rare form, but we can still recognize this as a feminine singular form because its a ending is there. So kotel, kotelet, kotelim, kotelot. So when we do some exercises, these will be clear to you. For the time being, you understand participle is a verbal adjective and it is formed as noun as well as adjectives are formed. Like you remember, tov, tova, tovim, tovot. So as a adjective undergoes change or is as an adjective is declined according to the gender and number of the person, verbal adjective participle also is declined. And as adjectives are used attributively and predicatively, participles also used attributively and predicatively. So that is the common rule. If that rule is clear, now what the sentence making will be clear. Once again, I explain here. I share my screen again. So here this is what we have written for Yashav, Yoshev, Yosheveth, Yoshvim, Yoshavoth. Now let's take one and we'll try to form sentences. So we remove this one. Okay, so Yosef is there. Yosef means sitting. Now we have to say the sitting man, that is attributive, and the man is sitting.
Father, sorry.
Yes.
Here, when you said sitting, but this Yoshev is dedicated to singular man. That's all.
Yeah, singular masculine.
Let's stop. So whatever sentence we now going to form, it has to be based on a single man.
Yes, masculine singular. Yeah, it has to be masculine singular. For example, king. We can write king is sitting. So king is a masculine singular. Boy, old man. So for anything we can use. Okay.
Yes, Father. Thank you.
Okay. So now first one, how do we write? Attributive. So for attributive, remember article, article. So we say ha ish, ha ish. So ish is man. Ha ish. Yoshev. Yoshev. So just you add article. How do we add definite article? Ha plus doubling. So it becomes Yoshev. So here it is the sitting man. Yoshev. Suppose I want to write the man is sitting. The rule is article, no article. So here article, ha, ish, and then no article. So just I write ha, ish, Yoshev. The man is writing. Clear? Kaish, Yoshev, the sitting man. Kaish Yoshev, the man is sitting. Suppose we have to say, let's say orally, Yoshevet is feminine. How would we say the woman is sitting? Predicative. The woman is sitting. Isha.
Isha.
Yes.
Yoshevet.
Very good. How would we say the sitting woman?
Isha Yoshevet.
Yoshevet. Isha. Yoshevet. Okay. Very good. And suppose we want to say sitting men. Anashim. Anashim Yoshvim. So Yoshvim. And sitting women, Hannashim Yoshvoth. Hannashim Yoshvoth would be attributive. Hannashim Yoshvoth will be predicative. Let's look at the sentences, then it will be clear to you. Let's come back to the slide again. Yeah. Look at the way it's used here. Active participle. The participle can be used attributively, predicatively. So here, ha is ha kotev. Katav means to write. Kotev is writing. Ha kotev is attributive use. So article, attributive. So we say the writing man, or dynamically we can say the man who is writing. But suppose we want to say predicatively, we say Haish Kotev. The man is writing. The man is writing. Haish Kotev. So this is how sentences are formed attributively and predicatively. And here we have one more. How do we translate? So by translation, some of us were confused. Just you remember, it is simple present. Simple present or immediate future. So we always translate it as the man is writing, not as the man was writing. So here, like earlier we said, it's like an adjectival phrase. It functions you put adjacent to that, juxtaposing of one thing another presupposes present indicative, not past or any other tense. So how do we translate Haish Kotev? It is always the man is writing. But if it were to be the man was writing, it will take a to be verb. But now it does not need a to be verb. So for the timing, let's understand this is an active participle verbal adjective. It is translated in present continuous tense. Good. Now, having said that, we move to the object marker, then we will see the exercises. So just we'll see the object marker and we'll break. Look at the object marker. The concept is very simple. In front of an object, this yet with makif or without makif, yet comes. So look at the sentence here. Haish shomer yet hatora. Haish shomer yet hatora. The man is observing the law. The man is observing. So the man subject, shomer verb, hatora object. So before object, we need a particle that is called object marker. Then ha ohev et David. Ha the people. Ahav means to love. Ohev is loving. The people are loving yet David. So even for personal pronouns, we need object marker. And third one, if the object is indefinite, it is not marked. So here the object is indefinite. Haish kotev davar. The man is writing a word. So when the object is direct and when the object is definite, when the object is a personal pronoun, we use yet. So definite, direct, and we the personal pronoun. But here, suppose if it's indefinite, there is no article here, just we say Haish kotev davar. So it's not marked, object marker does not come for the indefinite ones. So another explanation is here. Like we have two, yet without makif, yet with makif. So for yet with makif is short, yet is without makif is long.
Does it have any original meaning for it?
No, not meaning, but we can say it's a particle in a Dravidian language. But suppose if I were to, sorry that I'm explaining things in Tamil, but in, for example, we say, Puttagathai koduthen. So, nan Puttagathai koduthen. So, Puttagam is a noun, book. But Puttagathai, when we say that, it becomes the ittai is an object marker. So in Dravidian languages we have, in Telugu also we may have, in Malayalam also we may have. In Dravidian language it's peculiar that it is there for object, to mark the object. So same way in the Hebrew also has the yet.
நிறைய ரிலேஷன்ஸ் இருக்கு for தமிழ் கிராமருக்கும்.
Yeah, there are
relations. Yes.
There are very many examples are there. Okay, even here we have seen many, but I have not explained because that will sideline.
I have understood when I was going through it. I understood so many things. What we have in Tamil, it is there in Hebrew.
Yeah, it's there. It's a Semitic and Dravidian roots are same.
அது எல்லாமே வந்து அந்த வார்த்தையோட சேர்ந்து வர presuppose.
Sure, correct. So that's very unique to this.
வாங்கிட்டான் அதெல்லாம் நம்ம சிம்பிளா பேசிடுறோம், but it's all related to this how we are coining the words in Hebrew.
Sure. Good, Kumar. So that's the concept. So let's look at sentences here that we'll break. Bara Elohim yet hashamayim. So we have yet because what follows is the definite noun. So hashamayim, definite article is there. So we have an object marker. Then second sentence, somebody will read. Mrs. Karen, you will read for us. Nathan.
Nathan.
Yes.
Hannavi.
Yes.
It. Hasaper.
Hasefer.
Limelek.
Lammelek. Okay. So Nathan means he gave. So third person masculine singular. That subject is the prophet. Hannavi Nathan. The prophet gave yet. Hasefer. Sefer is a book. The prophet gave the book to the king. So here the book yet is an object marker. Good. Father Jose, will you please read for us next one? Ahav. Very good.
David, Yet, Yehonatan.
Very good, Father. Will you please translate? Ahab means he loved.
He
David,
loved.
David loved.
David loved. Yet, this means object marker.
Very
So
good.
naturally, the next one will be the object.
Yeah,
So
David loved
Yehonatan.
Yehonathan, Jonathan.
Jonathan. Okay, thank you.
Jonathan. David loved Jonathan. So here again it's a personal proper noun. It takes the object marker. Then last one, Mr. Kumar, you will read Nathan.
Nathan, Amalek, Yet. Nathan, Amalek, Yet.
Torotha.
Torotha,
Yeah.
Torotha, Lam,
Laam.
Laam.
Yeah. Is people. Okay, so
Laam.
here Laam to the people. So the king gave Torah is law. Torah ta is his law.
Okay.
Torah ta. So it's again constructs his law. Avarudaya law. Torah ta laam. So the king gave his law to the people. So his laws to the people. Good.
Thank you.
Okay. So let's take 2 minutes break. Then we'll resume. Good. Thank you. Very good. Now let's see the vocabulary. And if you see in our group yesterday, I have shared with you.
Excuse me, for just a moment further. In case if the power goes from my laptop, can I join through my mobile?
Yeah, you can join, no problem.
Thank you for that.
Thank you. So yesterday I had shared with you through our WhatsApp group a file of which has vocabulary of 55 lessons, so which we prepared when we are doing our licentiate. So it's like a flashcard. So if you open it, so you will just let's take that
1400 something.
Yeah, that pages. So it's like it was made for a Kindle. So Kindle format, it is a Kindle format it would be. So just take that and I will tell you how to use that. So you can download it or you can use in mobile.
One 586 pages are there for that.
Yes, Kumar. So it comes like this. Okay, so you open your file and you go to the play mode in PDF. So this will come this way, R. So just you touch once, then it becomes a flashcard. It changed. The answer is given, young man. Then you go to the next one, Zakane. Then again tap there, old man. Then buy it. Again tap house. So it's I put it like it plays like a flashcard. So each word you can learn. So in our Hebrew classes, we may have only 9 to 10 lessons, but there are 55 lessons. If you master the vocabulary of these 55 lessons, that is the basic vocabulary for the Hebrew Bible. So if you know these 55 lessons vocabulary, then that is enough for understanding Hebrew Bible, because they explain the basic consonantal roots. So I have given you all the words, so you can make use of them. Good. So maybe you can 10 days per 2 days, something like so 10 words for 2 days, something like that. If you set a target, you will be able to do that. Okay, good.
The first few words are very easy to learn because we have already learned it.
Yeah.
Probably from the judge onwards, it's very difficult.
From judge onwards. Okay, maybe that from second lesson we have not studied then. That's
Yeah.
Okay.
So feet.
Very good. So just you can casually run through so that you are able to recognize the alphabets as well. Okay. Very good. Okay. Now let's come to the vocabulary of lesson 4. The first one, Bayene. Bayene is in the eyes of. Ayin. Ayin means eye. Bayene, ba is in. So in the eyes of. Bayene, in the opinion of. For example, in the eyes of, I found favor in the eyes of God. So there we have this expression, Bayene. Often we have this. For example, Hagar found favor in the eyes of Abraham. Or the Egyptians, they found favor in the eyes of Joseph. So this expression, Bayene, is in the eyes of, in the opinion of. Next one we have halak. Halak means to go or to walk. Here adjective form is there, verbal adjective, participle form. Holek. Holek means going or walking. So, yes.
When we easily identify the verbal adjective based on the first O and A.
Yeah, correct. That OA is a verbal adjective. Correct, Kumar. So that earlier we set in the rule that OA, that form is always adjectival form. And A is a perfect form. You remember bara, kara, katau. So A is a perfect form. OA is participle form. So easy to identify. I'll tell you how to identify it.
Sure. Okay.
So for the time being, OA is going, walking, participle form. And this not only necessarily, it means literal walking, like I walk from my room to my office, that is walking. But also it means walking in the law. Like suppose in the Psalms we have, he who walks in the precepts of the Lord, or he who meditates on, walks by the Lord. So going or walking can mean literally also one's ethical behavior. So walking can be both literal and ethical. Then yashav, OA form, yoshev, sitting or dwelling or inhabiting. For example, the people of Israel sat in the or dwelt in the promised land, yashav. that is dwelling. And it can also mean that the king was sitting on the throne, Yoshev. The sitting, again, it can mean sitting, the action of sitting, or figuratively it can refer to the action of sitting in a place. Actually, when we dwell, what do? Actually, we sit. So sitting is dwelling. Then Wohel. Wohel is eating. Wohel. Le, to, for, in a dative sense. Yel, we have already seen, to or towards. Nothen, Nathan means to give. Jonathan, prophet, Nathan. So Nathan means giving, setting or placing. Suppose the king placed the book before the prophet. So it can mean Nathan, or it can mean give or place. Nathan. Then Kotev, writing. Then we have Sophet. Sophet is judge. Sophet. Then Yeth, direct object marker.
Oh, this Sophet.
Yeah.
Sophet is following that this
Same
one.
from Sophet. So it can mean judge
Oh, it
and
can be
judging.
judging also.
Yeah, judging also. Sophet, judging. Then Yeth, direct object marker. Kiswoth. The next one is Kisse. Kisse means throne. The plural form is irregular. Kiswoth. Then Malak. Malak is messenger or angel. So if you remember the root, Malak is the root, but here one aleph is added here. So to make it as a messenger. So the king who has a messenger. So the kings have messengers. Malak. Malak is messenger or angel. Malak Adonai. So often we hear in the book of Judges, in the Midian story, in the Gideon story, and in Samson's story, we have this Malak often coming there. Good. Once again, we quickly run through the vocabulary. Then it will be easy for us to read the sentences. Bene, in the eyes of. Holek, going, walking. Yoshev, sitting. Wohel, eating. Le, to. Yel, to or towards. Nothen, giving. Kotev, writing. Shofet, judge or judging. Eth, direct object marker. Kiswoth, plural of kisse, throne, thrones. Kisse is throne. Malak is messenger. Now let's look at the sentences. I'll do number 1, then you will do the rest. Okay. Means we'll do 1 or 2 here, then we will leave it for homework. Look at the first sentence. I read for you. Shofet, Nothen, Yeth, Sefer, La Ish. Okay, so here Shofet has to be taken as a judge. So Shofet, the judge, Nothen is giving. Yeth Sefer. Sefer means book or scroll. La Ish. I break now once again. Shofet is judge. Shofet. So here I is missing. Shofet is the judge. Nothen, masculine singular form of active participle from the infinitive Nathan. Nothen. Yeth, object marker. Sefer is book. Sefer, the book. Ish, man. La, to. La ish, to the man. Once again, the judge is giving the book to the man. Now let's try with Mr. Terence. Terence, will you please read for us number 2, sentence number 2? I will help you. Isha. You can unmute.
Sorry.
Okay.
Hi, Isha.
Yes.
Yeshevet.
Yoshevet.
Sorry, and that dot I put. Yoshevet. Va Yokela, Okele,
Wokelet,
Okelet, Papa it.
Papayit. Very good.
Yeah, the woman
Hmm.
is
Yes.
this is sitting
Sitting. Very good. So it is predicative.
and
Article, no article. The woman is sitting and
very
good. Okay. Eating.
eating
Yeah,
in
the
the
woman
house.
is sitting and eating
In the house.
in the house. Okay. The woman is sitting and eating in the
house.
house. Very good. Thank you.
Thank you.
Father Jose, you will translate for us number 3.
Ha-anashim,
Very good.
Holekim,
Super.
Yet Hahekal,
Yel Hahekal.
Yel Hahekal, Hagadol,
Very good.
Ha-anashim,
Yes, Father.
the Nashim, the men,
The men. Very good.
Holakim,
Holakim.
Lakim,
Holek. Holek is to walk.
Holakim, walking.
Okay, the men are walking.
Then L.
Yes. L is to or towards.
Okay, towards Hekal. Hekal is temple or palace.
Very good.
So to the men are walking to the temple.
Okay.
Hagadol.
Yeah.
Gadol is great or big. So
Very good.
the big
Okay.
temple. So the
big temple.
men are walking towards the big temple.
Very good, Father. The men are walking towards the big or great temple or great palace. Very good, Father. And look at the second word, Father correctly pronounced. It is Holahim. It is not Holhim, because since the ho is long, this shua is pronounced Holahim. Ha anashim, Holahim, Yel hahekal, hagadol. And look at the last phrase, Yel hahekal, hagadol. Article, that's why it is attributive. Look at the first two words, ha anashim, Holahim. Article, no article, that's why it's predicative. Thank you, Father. Now let's go to Mrs. Joyce. You will do for us number 4.
Yes, Father.
Yes.
Hammelech.
Very good. Hammelech. Yoshev. Yes.
No.
Vakotev.
Father.
Vakotev.
Vakotev.
Yeah, correct. Vakotev. Bus safer. Very good. How would we translate? Hammelech.
Hammelech, the king.
The king.
Yourself.
The king is sitting. Yeah, the king is sitting and writing. Kotev is writing. The king is sitting and writing in the book. Was safer. So safer is scroll or book. Ba is in. So ba is in the. So the king is sitting and writing in the book. And look at the first two, Hammelech Yoshev. So since it is no article, we treat it as predicative. Hammelech Yoshev.
Okay.
Suppose if it were to be article, were to be there, Hammelech Yoshev. The sitting king, it will be. Okay, good. Thank you. Thank you, Miss Joyce. Now, Mrs. Karen, fifth one.
Further,
Yes.
excuse me, for that fourth one,
Yeah.
Hammelech Hayoshev,
Yoshev.
where need not be there, right? Straight away.
No.
Hammelech Hayoshev,
Okay.
Hotev, Pa Shev.
Yeah, you can say. So if you put that one, it would mean the
It means that-
sitting, the
Yeah,
sitting king is writing. Very
is
good.
writing in the book.
Yeah, the sitting king is writing in the book. So if you remove ver and you add article to Yoshev, Hammelech Yoshev, the sitting king is writing in the book.
Thank you for this.
Thank you. Very good. Okay, Mrs. Karen, number 5.
Hammelech
Slowly. Hammal
Hammalechim Hamalakim.
Yeah, it's a la is not pronounced because what precedes is a short vowel. Hammalachim.
Huleknim
Holkim.
Hulekim
Very good.
Holkim Al
Yel.
Hannahar
Hannahar.
Hannahar.
Okay. How would we translate?
The walking angels? No. The angels
No.
are walking.
The angels or messengers are walking.
The walking angels.
No. Here, this is Holak is not article, no, ma'am. So article, no article. So it's predicative.
So the angels are walking
Very good. The angels are walking
in the
towards
Nahar.
the L is two or towards the Nahar.
river.
Very good. So the angels or the messengers are walking towards the river. Getting it? So suppose if it were to be the walking angels, how it will be? Ham malachim ha holachim. So here ha holachim, ha is not there. That's why we say it's predicative. Are you getting, ma'am?
Yes, Father.
Okay, since he is there, you might have confused it with the
Yes, I thought that he was an article.
Okay, but it's part of the triconsonantal. Halak. Halak means to walk. Got it? Okay.
Yes.
Let's go to next one. Mr. Kumar, number 6.
Ra. Addavar.
Haddavar.
Addavar. Ra Addavar. Deyine.
Beyene.
Ahim.
Aham. Very good.
Ra means evil.
Very good.
Addavar is word. The word, evil word.
Evil word or the word was evil, the word is evil.
Not it's a predicative. The word was evil.
The word was evil and the word is evil.
In their view of the people. In the view of the people. The word was evil in the view of the people.
Super. The word was evil. The word is preferred. The word is evil in the eyes of the people.
Or in the view
the word can be translated the thing also. The thing. The word can mean both word and thing. The thing is evil in the eyes of the people or in the opinion of the people. Very good, Kumar. Good. Thank you. So the rest you can do by yourself. Okay. There are 15 sentences. Just try, and if you have any doubt, we will discuss them in the next class. And having said that, we go to today's lesson. So this is yes, the previous day's lesson. We are one lesson behind, but still we'll make it. Okay, just I will introduce you to today's lesson. Sorry.
Happy priest day for the Chaco. We have forgotten you.
Father Jose.
Thank you. Thank you, Kumar. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Good. So today is day 9, lecture 17 and 18. Today I had actually planned to revise lessons 1 to 4 and we have revised them. And just will introduce to lesson 5. So again to quickly run through the alphabets. Aleph, Bet, Gimel, Dalet, He, Vav, Zayin, Het, Tet, Yod, Kaf, Lamet, Mem, Nun, Samek, Ayin, Pe, Sade, Kof, Resh, Sin, Shin, Tau. Then to revise the vowels, a, e, o, u, a, e. Good. So today we are going to see the 4 concepts, the prepositions in, to, and like, then preposition from, the comparative degree. Since we have already seen the adjectives. So adjectives are used in comparative degree. Like for example, the boy is good, we said. So suppose how do we say the boy is better than the old man, or the king is better than the people, or the king is more evil than the people. So how do we say, or how do we compare with the adjective, that is comparative degree. Then last one, relative word, asher. Asher in the sense, relative pronoun. For example, the boy that I met this morning is your brother. The boy whom I met or who I met that I met, or the lesson that I studied did not come for exam. The lesson that I studied. So that is a relative pronoun. So that one we are going to see how do we employ relative pronoun in Hebrew. These 4 concepts, just they are very simple concepts. Okay. Number 1, the concept is simple. Look here, the first one we have, sorry, where is, look at the first word here. So we have the Hebrew, then we have transliteration, we have translation. Just look at Hebrew, okay, don't follow the transliteration. Yerushalayim. So here E is a gliding vowel. So it's not Yerushalami, but Yerushalayim. Yerushalayim. This Yerushalayim means Jerusalem. But suppose you want to say in Jerusalem. So for the word or preposition for in is ba. If you remember, the boy is in the house. We said Hanna or Babbayit. So ba is the. So ba is in. Suppose you add ba with ya, it becomes b. Let me explain to you. So look at the paint here. Okay. So here the rule is simple. Yerushalayim. So it starts with Yod. Suppose you add ba there. So what happens? These 2 shuas become one hirek. So it becomes Birushalayim. So suppose we have here Jerusalem. So here you add this ba. So here it is Yerushalayim. So it goes on Yeru. First I take only the two syllables Yeru. So if you add ba to it, what becomes that Shua gets dropped and there is a dot dropping and it becomes here. So suppose if you put this way, easy for you. So you cancel this and you cancel one Shua. Then it becomes Birushalayim. So very simple. Yeah. So only it comes for Yod. So we have Yerushalayim here. Yerushalayim. So you want to add in Jerusalem. So for in, we add the preposition ba. When you add, what happens? This becomes this cancel. Then this also it's cancel. Then it becomes Birushalayim. B. Suppose you add la. Same thing happens to Jerusalem. What happens? This is dropped and it becomes Lirushalayim. Suppose you want to add like Jerusalem. That is Jerusalem. Again it gets dropped and it gets dropped. Kirushalayim. Like Jerusalem. So once again, I come to the main slide. So that's what we have here. Yerushalayim becomes Birushalayim, Lirushalayim, Kirushalayim. Okay, just further, don't worry much because just we need to understand. So if it is Birushalayim, just it is in Jerusalem. Lirushalayim means to Jerusalem and Kirushalayim means like Jerusalem. And this also happens for pronouns, for proper nouns. Shemuel is Samuel. Shemuel. Then you add Bishmuel in Samuel. Lishmuel.
Father, there's no scream. There is no scream.
Okay. Sorry. Thank you. So first one we explained here. We have explained with the paint. Yerushalayim, Birushalayim, Lirushalayim, Kirushalayim. Then I was telling with the proper noun. For example, Samuel. So Shemuel, here what happens is that Shua is retained, but the preposition undergoes a change. Bishmuel, Lishmuel, Kishmuel. Look at the Shua here. It is not Bishamuel because B is very short. So we don't pronounce the Shua. Bishmuel, Lishmuel, Kishmuel. So Samuel, in Samuel, to Samuel, like Samuel. So just if you see the E there, just you treat it as preposition. Ba, la, ka. So this rule tells some prepositions, when they are combined with the Shua, they have a E sound. So they lose that A sound and they adopt E sound. That is the rule here. But there are some, there is no change. For example, Ir. Ir is city. Ba, Ir, in a city. So just it doesn't undergo any change for others. Only when there is a Shua, it undergoes a change. These, they don't have Shua. For example, Melek, Ka Melek. It's not Ki Melek because there is no Shua here. So only when the Shua is there at the beginning, it affects the preposition. here, ish, there is no shua, so it does not affect. La ish. Other times, these prepositions remain the same. Pa, ka, la. Only when there is a shua, it adopts a e sound. That's the rule. Then we have preposition min. With this, we'll conclude. So min is actually from. Min. So from or out of. So from this. So here there are three rules. Number one, look at the rule, but they're very simple. Before the definite article, this preposition, that is min, may have either the form ma, which is joined directly to the following word, or min, which is usually joined to the following word with makef. Okay, let me explain to you with the paint. Good. So let's clear the board. So the rule says we are now going to see min. Min. Min with makef is equal to ma without makef. So both mean the same. Both mean the same. What do they mean? They mean from. So min, ma. So when the word begins with a definite article, for example, ham melek. So ham melek. So here we have ham melek. Suppose you want to say from the king, we add min here. So you add makef. So min ham melek. This is one form. Min ham melek means from the king. Another form is just you remove min and you add me ham melek. The second form. This form you just add me ham melek. So min is a preposition. It is added like min with makef or just may. That is the rule. That's the rule number one, min. And the second rule is before nouns beginning with a guttural, it takes may. I explain again. Suppose we have ear. Ear is city. So for that, it does not take min ear. No, just only may. So now keep in mind the simple thing. If mem is there at the beginning, it is a preposition. Preposition that means from. May ear is from city. From a city. And for all other nouns, the form is mim. Suppose we have to say, from a king, so we have melek, can take note. Melek is here. For other places, just it takes.
Or your paint is not seen.
Not seen. Thank you. So here I was trying to write here Melek, and here it becomes Mimmelek, like article doubling. Mimmelek is from a king. So very simple. Once again, I explain with the slide. The rule will be very simple. Okay, look here. We are just looking at the preposition min. Min means from. So it has three ways of being written. Min with a markef or may in front of definite article. That is one. Second one, in front of guttural, it takes may. For example, here we have may year, may rosh from a kid. And the third one is me for other nouns, me plus doubling of the first consonant. Suppose a king. From a king, how do we write? Mim melek. So just you remember only one thing, that mem at the beginning of a word will mean preposition from. It can have a form of min or may or me plus doubling of the consonant. So these three. So min, may, me plus doubling of the consonant. So just if you remember mem, if you see mem, it has to strike that it is a preposition from. So we have seen two rules for prepositions. Number one with the prepositions followed by shua. So the shua affects the preposition and it becomes e. For example, Birushalayim, Bishmuel. That is number one we have seen. Number two, min. It can be written in three ways. Min with the markef, may or me plus doubling of the first consonant. This min will be useful for us when we do the comparative degree, because only with the use of mim we are going to compare the degrees. Okay, now I stop here. I'll send you this lesson as well. So you can go through these two prepositions and the rest is simple. And the next lessons will be based on this, and they are very simple. Number until 8 we have simple lessons, only 9 we have the verbal, a bit complicated, that will demand explanation. Good.